6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Finally back again after a bit of a break. Feels like a break. Fulham away. Tough game. Craven Cottage. Some bad news coming out of there. Might be good for us, but I don't like saying things like that when it comes to what this news was recently. But we'll get you in on very, very soon. Subscribe if you want to. Please hit the thumbs up button. Membership, top of the chat if you want to do that. Just want to fly through this. Diacro, 20% off. Use code BAZ20. Link is in the description. Amazing stuff. Now, I've mentioned football prizes a lot, and I have never seen them do a prize like this before. This is absolutely incredible, by the way. Look at all those shirts. All right, you can win for £2.95 a ticket. There is £9.99, so there's a bit more than usual, but a fully signed Champions League squad shirt framed, plus a Sandro Tonali signed shirt, a Miguel Almiron signed shirt, Shaw, Joelinton, Target, Kraft, Hall, Bonds, Sven Botman, all in the picture. They're all instant prizes. There's other prizes as well up for grabs, but that is one hell of a raffle. So please consider checking them out. Link is in the description. And I just think I want it. I want to win it myself, but I won't. Hello, Ian.
Hello, mate.
How are we doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Yeah, tired. It's been a long day. First one back's always the hardest.
Yeah.
Hate it. First 5 o'clock alarm. We've got lots to go through today. There's a lot in the news. There's quite a bit in the chat as well, so we'll just quickly pop all that up. Don't use all caps. Please, adhere to the guidelines. Under 21s are playing on the app, so give that a watch as well at the same time if you can. Is it just me, or does Ian look sexy attractive in that shot? Which one? It's just you, Ian. I'm starting to worry about you now. Yeah, I think I am as well. Would love to say it's slightly annoyed that I can't, but considering the benefits we have regarding televised games, I can't complain. Yeah, I mean, the app's not great. It's been a bit pants for everyone, but I tried to watch the conference this morning and it wasn't working. I just give up and waited for all the people to jump all over the quotes and then email them out. Baz Ian, Roger, great to see you. Gary, it's great to see you. Leslie, Ches, it's amazing to see you as well, because I know you're busy with work. So first thing we're going to pop up, Adidas are definitely 120% back with that, aren't they? It's great to have that little stamp in the ground. It's a shame War Flags didn't do something like that, like with some gold flags or something, or little bits of paper, everyone waves them around the white sign, something like that.
It's a good touch. That I like it, especially when you're coming straight out the tunnel, and you won't see it when the crowd's full, but it's good. I like it. It's decent.
So, they should do something very pops, shouldn't they?
War Flags will have someone up the sleeve, mate. They always do.
I hope so. This isn't about the game, but it made me laugh. Newcastle are 20th in the list of top teams in Europe. We're not even in Europe, and we're ahead of Manchester United. Spurs aren't even on the list. It just made me chuckle. I was just like, how are we 20th? But I'll take it. It's a small win, and we can always take small wins. Just shows the club's going in the right direction, doesn't it?
Yeah, and stuff like that just totally puts all the doubters' minds at rest, I should say. because when you put it into graphs like that, it just goes to show how far we're going. Small steps, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Adidas Eaton. I like that. Should have that, to be fair. Yeah, Aston Villa.
Yeah, God.
Trying to. I mean, that just looks a little bit better there, doesn't it, than the one that I have?
Yeah, that's a better picture, that one. That's great. That one looks great.
I love it. Yes, happy birthday, Jules. I know it was a couple of days ago. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Let's get to the press conference, because that is mainly why we do the show tonight, looking ahead to the game, because we hear what Eddie Howe's thoughts are, what the injury updates are like, in any particular pressing news. Bit sad to hear about Lewis Miley. He's a long way off. I wasn't too sure how long his injury was going to be, but he's basically confirmed he's back on grass, but he's not with us yet, as in with the squad, with the players, so he's training by himself. What do you think will happen with Lewis Miley, though, when he is back? Do you think he'll go out on loan, or do you think he'll be around until January? Or
he's. I think what's happening now with our injury team is, I don't think we are pushing players back as quick as what we've done last year, and caused absolutely worse injuries that we've already started with. I think there's very precaution there at the minute, and they're waiting until they're 110% right before they even get involved. And that just goes to show, with all the early reports, that Botman was coming back earlier than I expected, but then obviously he's been put back to where he was expected to return, which was Christmas in the first place, which is, in my opinion, the right thing to do, to make sure that he is 110% right. Regarding Lewis Miley, he was forced. It was his role at our football club, as we all know, it was forced upon. However, his standards when he was forced upon was at the highest level. Unfortunately, with our squad, with obviously Tonali and everybody's there on the top of the game with your Joe Willock's and everything, I think his minutes will be finding a little bit wanting. So I think the loan route will be, targeted, whether it'll be January or in the summer. But I think going forward, it's critical for him to get some minutes and good minutes into him, which are at a top championship side close to home, hopefully, to improve his game, and then it'll just take his football to the next level. But unfortunately, the standard of midfield is a little bit out of his depth, as I see it, as well as us trying to go forward and hopefully bringing in even bigger players. You've just got to be a little bit realistic. The football at times, and that's a direction some clubs go down to, and I think that's where we'll go down that as well.
Has he got a big future, though, or were we all just hyping him up because of the way that he came in and sort of held his own? But some of the results weren't great. Some of the performances weren't great by the team. And he did kind of shine a little bit at that time. We were just saying that because of his age and, the lack of experience.
Do you know, it's that horrible word as well, what we all hate and we try to avoid. And it could be another PSR transfer or anything like that. That'll help. It's another homegrown talent, which will be 100% profit. I mean, do we want that to happen? Definitely not, because we want all these young homegrown superstars around the team. But it's the way football is, I'm afraid. I think it'll go in the other direction, which is a shame.
It is a massive shame if that does happen, but let's hope it doesn't. Callum Wilson has played 267 out of a possible 3,240 minutes of football in 2024. A hamstring issue is now set to keep him out for at least another 3 months in total. We should have sold him.
Well, we've had endless conversations about this bloke, and yes, we should have sold him, but who comes in and buys him? That's the other thing, because you're coming in.
The club's interested in that January when he was sort of available and sort of fit. We should have really cashed in when we could have, shouldn't we?
But then at that present time, our squad was absolutely weak with injuries anyway. You just don't know.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is. Oh, it's a great saying as well. But at what price is acceptable? Because you know what it is, when he's on, he scores goals, and that's the frustrating thing. We all know he can score goals. And at what price do you get what's acceptable for Callum Wilson? That's another thing. Because if you're gonna sell him, if you say, for instance, you sell Callum Wilson for 15 million, how much you got in? I know he hasn't played very many minutes, but his goal ratio for the minutes he scores, it's incredible. So the price, what you've got to pay to replace him, is another thing. You know, as much as we're so frustrated that he doesn't play, we just can't keep having these setbacks, though, because it just puts the pressure on other players, and it puts the onus on Isak, and it goes to show how important he is. And if he's out, and Isak hasn't started the season very well because he's been starved and he's been isolated. You know,
I'm going to come to him. The first bit is, though, Eddie Howe on the squad's mentality. I see a really motivated team, a motivated squad that want to do something really special this year. The commitment to our training has been very, very good. Now, that's a good sign. And again, we've always said, yes, the performances aren't there, but we're winning. We're unbeaten. And that can only breed confidence within the squad. And hopefully they can carry that on. Because after Fulham, we've got some very tough fixtures coming up. So we need to be together collectively as a squad and as a fan base. We need to get behind them, don't we?
Yeah. And it goes to show as well that we have got quality in the squad, because when you're not playing well, you need somebody to pull something out the bag to get us over the line. And Harvey Barnes' strike last week was absolutely phenomenal.
Have you seen the pass yet?
Yes, I did. I watched it back. It was a tight ball through. Right, I did.
Easy ball.
It was a tight ball through in between, right, which would have to be. When I've looked, and it would have to be perfect because it was in between the goalkeeper. I don't know. But I've seen the pass after you said. I think the strikes are remarkable.
Oh, it is quality strike. Just if you missed, though, everyone would be looking at that gap and going,
yeah,
should have missed it. It's just one of those ones, isn't it? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
They're looking for enough for it went in the back of the net. So.
And it smashed in the top corner, didn't it?
Exactly.
So Isak's a bit of a strange one coming out of the conference. Obviously, the ball grazed his eye. We thought that's the main reason for him coming off the pitch. Then we found out he has a knock on his foot. We'll find out more today and make a decision on him. Obviously, the press conference was 9:30 in the morning today. It's obviously going to be a late fitness test. I think painkiller injections and he plays the game, to be completely honest with you. But it is very frustrating to hear this because we all thought, oh, he'll be back, because it's just a nose and, a bit of blurred vision from the eye. That a bit of eye wash will get rid of that in 24 hours and everything will be good.
Yeah. Obviously, it's worse. He hasn't been pictured at all in training or anything this week, which is another one. Has he wrapped them in cotton wool all week? Maybe. But obviously there's something a little bit more that's serious to it, in my opinion. That it's Eddie's, but it wouldn't surprise me if he starts. The way Eddie comes across his press conferences, he says we hope everything's okay and it's not too serious. But when Razor asked him, he didn't say that. It was the second question of another journalist when he said he hope it's not too easy. When Razor asked, he just point blank said it was a freak eye injury, but he's also took a hit to his foot, which were both in that game, and he'll be assessed today. So I think it's 50-50.
It's going to be very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I think painkiller injection, and I think he gets through the game. The problem is we don't want him to aggravate it and then miss the following week when we've got City.
But the thing is, how bad is it? Nobody. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is the thing. We can't go down the route of risking players like we did last season. And
True.
what Eddie Howe said as well after that was, he says we've got strong numbers in that department to cover, so we're not going to be in a situation to be forced. So if he's not right, I don't think he plays, simply because we've got other options, which is good. Because this time, when we've been in situations where we've had no other forwards, Isak would have played injured, and that's what we don't want.
Fantasy Premier League anxiety. It's my team screwed. I was relying on Isak this year. I've not bothered with it now. I'm just crap at it. I think Sandro is in a much better place. The international games really helped him. He's certainly pushing to start, but I want everyone pushing to start. He was very good against Wolves. We have really good competition for places in midfield. He's got to start for me, hasn't he? Got to start now.
I did say when he came back, he was 1 or 2 games away from a start, and I do believe that. And I think he'd definitely be knocking on that door to start tomorrow, 1,000,000%. In my opinion, I think he's probably our best midfielder at the club. I really do.
I've been saying that for how long? As soon as he signed, I went, "This is the guy who will replace Bruno."
You know what it is?
Bruno has to be sold.
We all love Bruno.
Yeah,
I think this boy's going to be on a different level, and we'll see.
Fulham, a very good team, a team full of energy, always trying to play the game in the right way. It is always a difficult game there. We will do everything we can to win. Fulham is a tough game, but they have lost a few players and signed a few that I was a bit surprised at, like Adam Traore. They got Jimenez from Wolves. I know that was last season, but it was a bit of a weird one. They always played. They've got their Warby from Everton last season. It was January, wasn't it, or something like that? That was a strange move as well. They're a strange team, Fulham, aren't they?
But as much as you say Warby, right? Warby gave us an absolute torrid time.
He did, yeah, after I slagged him off.
He gave us a torrid time, and he's got Smith Rowe behind him now. Right now, Smith Rowe is a very good player, and he's scoring goals as well. He scored, I think that whole left-hand side is very, very dangerous from Fulham. Very dangerous. If you've got Robinson at full-back, mate, you've got Smith Rowe.
Well, we like him.
Right, and then Warby on that side. So they've got a very, very strong left-hand side. And Jimenez, I think he might have a point to prove because he got sent off, didn't he, at home when we played them at home. And sometimes Jimenez can be a right handful. Like, can just be non-existent.
No, he can be. Yeah, he's a strange striker, and
he scored last game as well, didn't he?
Yes.
I certainly don't I mean, we've got a very good record against these. A very good record, by the way. But my point is, when Newcastle have always wanted something, have had a chance to go to that next level or go get into a decent league position. There's a little carrot being dangled there, which we all know about because other teams don't play at the back end of the weekend.
Yes.
So, we have just got to get the job done to finish top of that table on Saturday night, and that will be. But it's not going to be easy. So it ain't going to be easy. These are no mugs. And on the day, that can be a very dangerous side.
No, absolutely agree. Eddie on Sean Longstaff. Sean's been very good since we've been here. He's been brilliant to work with. His performances have improved. He's still got areas to work on, like every player has, but fundamentally important to us. He knows there's competition for places in that midfield, and he knows he's going up against 3 high-quality players. 4, if you include Willock, which I do. I think Sean Longstaff's going to start seeing the bench quite a bit and becoming the squad player that we all will love him for, because he won't want to leave Newcastle, but he knows he won't be good enough to be in that starting 11. And I think he's going to have to accept that, isn't he?
Yeah. Do you know?
It's not disrespect to him. It's just.
Do you know? But it's healthy when you've got.
Of course, it is.
Good quality players that's pushing each other for them positions, because last year players were just turning up with the boots and knowing fine well that they were playing every week. It's a different ball game this season. And when your performance levels dropped, i.e. Joe Linton. I mean, Joe Linton's first game of the season, he was absolutely exceptional. And I think, apart from that, I think he's been well below his performances of Joe Linton's standard. Now, if he knows that now, he knows that as Willock's coming back to his full fitness, he's got to be on the top of his game, because Willock will push him out, no problem whatsoever, if he's not performing. Definitely, and that's vice versa.
He's going to push him out, isn't he? I mean, Bruno's not performing really at the moment, is he? I mean, Joe Linton's not performing at the moment.
I mean, I use that as an example, mate. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're club captain or anything like that. If you're not playing well, look at Kieran Trippier. You know, you can be a bold manager and a brave manager, and it doesn't matter who's not playing very well. If you're captain or not, that you still don't. You just don't have that right to play. So if Tonali is there, obviously Willock, Sean Long, even Sean, you can bring Sean Longstaff into that, because it's the competitiveness what you need in that midfield, which we haven't had, and it's great.
Absolutely agree. Just going to quickly throw this one up. It's happening. It's all falling into place, guys. I'm actually quite shocked we're actually going to be doing it, and it is sort of my idea. And I was being very silly suggesting this. There's Bob Hope and no hope of Bruno being dropped. You can never say never, never say never. But yeah, West Ham are one up apparently in Europe. But £10 a ticket, guys. We've only got 60 spaces because it holds 70. But obviously, there's the people who are going to be doing it. We have a special guest lined up. We could have two, so I don't want to reveal it until I know about the second name. It'll be an absolute cracking night because it's right in the middle of a January transfer window. So that gives you a bit of an idea about who we might actually have. It's not a player. We tried to get Nobby, but since he got sacked from Blythe, he's gone back to Peru. And I can't afford to fly him over for one night. So that isn't happening. But we really can't wait to do this on the 16th of January. If you would like to turn up and basically pre-book your seat, Superfan Dan is the one who's collecting the money. You've just got to email him here. That is also his PayPal account. Send him a tenner, send him your full name, and you'll be added to the list. I believe we've sold 25% of the tickets already, which is incredible, considering we haven't even said who the special guest is yet. And we're just a bunch of idiots with a camera. So, obviously, Dan, Superfan Dan, and John O'Hare, Jack, as he's really known as, they're the two guys you want to come and see because they're only over here twice a year. And if you are fans of them as well, this is your chance to get a photo with them, have a chat with them, have a beer with them, because you don't get much time during games to do that. And they really want to connect with as many people as possible. So consider getting your tickets. And again, all the money is going to Stanley Deaf Club and to the NUFC Food Bank. So please help. There's the email address going along the bottom for your tickets if you would like to get involved. I think it's going to be a great night, isn't it? Come on. It's going to be a great night.
Sorry, mate. Just because you make someone happy, it just doesn't give you the right to play. It doesn't. It doesn't.
If his form drops off, you'll have to miss out.
I mean, look at Maguire at Man United.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's a little example of someone. Sorry, getting back to the night. Yeah, the night. Sorry. It's going to be completely different to what we used to, by the way.
Oh, yes.
I think it'll be very nerve-wracking in time, but very exciting in the same note.
John, those faces looking at you.
Exactly. John and Dan, they will just take it in the stride because that's what they're doing. And when you get a chance to meet them in person, you just realise how special they are and how much they love the club. And I just think it'll be a fantastic night for a great cause, mate. I'm really looking forward to it.
Two great causes.
Yeah.
Before we get into potential teams, I've got Fulham's team up so we could talk about them a little bit again. The win probability, I've never seen it this close before, especially for a team that, you expect Newcastle to beat potentially, but not away from home. So 39% for us, 33% for Fulham, 28% a draw. It's pretty much very difficult to call. Head-to-head record in the last 5 matches. This does also include home games. but we've won all 5.
Yeah.
So that's not bad, is it? So Fulham's potential injuries, they've only got 1. And they've got no return date for them. And it just says CV forward, which is brilliant. Fulham are winless in the last 8 Premier League meetings with Newcastle, drawn 2, lost 6. Newcastle have won each of the last 4 away fixture games against Fulham, having lost 6 in a row at Craven Cottage beforehand. So we lost 6 in a row, then we won 4 in a row. That's crazy. None of Fulham's 16 Premier League home games against Newcastle have finished level, with the Cottagers winning 9 and losing 7. The only exact fixture to be played more without being drawn in the competition's history is Everton v Fulham at Goodison Park. 17 times they've played and there's never been a draw. Fulham have won just 1 of their last 6 Premier League games, drawn 2, losing 3, having won 4 of their previous 6 at Craven Cottage before this. So Paul Merson's given us absolutely no hope.
Oh, God.
I can't believe Newcastle have gotten this many points as this far this season. He said they aren't even playing well and they still have 10 points from 4 games.
Do you know what it is, mate, right? He's dancing shit. He's punditry shit. And I cannot wait until Man City do them on Sunday, and then that's it. Title race over. And
he talks about Chelsea as his own team as well. Do you see that on Twitter? I'm like, what the hell? He goes on to say Tottenham should have beat them, Southampton could have beat them, Bournemouth, and even Wolves. All these teams could have beat Newcastle and could have been on no points, yet somehow they still have 3 wins and a draw. Sooner or later, these worrying performances will start affecting Newcastle. It wouldn't shock me if they lose to Fulham at Craven Cottage. The Magpies' luck could finally run out here. That's
God
what he said.
Can
you believe it?
Hatred.
He does hate us, doesn't he? He absolutely hates us with a passion.
That is hatred at the highest level, and he just cannot stand it.
Roger, yes, the venue is very accessible. It's got wheelchair access, everything. So it's a great little venue to have the night. And the beer's quite cheap. They've got Jaeger bombs as well. They've got everything. I'm telling you, it's going to be a drunken night. It is. It definitely is. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the charity football game there, which needed to be, had to have a lot of access for a lot of the people that turned up from Standard Deaf Club. So it's definitely got all the access it needs. If it's in the bar, it's 1 level. It's a little roll up to it. There's 2 bars. There's a bar outside and there's a bar inside as well. Obviously, we're going to be inside because it's going to be cold. It's jealousy, not hatred. Very true. But yeah, very, very frustrating from Paul Merson because, I used to like them when they had all of it. Letitia was on there and all them lot. And now I haven't watched it for a couple of years now. I just can't do it. Jeff used to keep me watching it and now he's gone. So
yeah.
Death of Super Saturday, that one when Jeff left.
Great. I thought it was great with him.
Brilliant. Right, here's Fulham's lineup. As we've already mentioned, down their left-hand side is kind of where most things happen. Obviously, you being a left-back yourself, and I mean, I've always said Robinson was a very good left-back, and you can tell by his rating, he's got a very good rating there. Iwobi, like I say, he's very hit and miss. And Adam Traore as well, very hit and miss, but on his day, he can really hurt you. And Emile Smith-Rowe, great signing from Arsenal in a way. For a club like them, I wouldn't have had him at Newcastle personally because we don't play over number 10. But I think he's at a good club, still in London. Jakob Anderson as well from Palace. We rated him very highly. We thought we might jump in and get him. So, yeah, they do play good football. It's just they're not a team that they're not a consistent team is probably the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. If you were about Robinson's stats, mate, he's this season's up there what Kieran Trippier brings to Newcastle. Creating big chances from fullbacks. Now that's so important at this level, in my opinion. And I don't understand how this kid's not getting looked at by bigger clubs, by the way. Because I think he's a real package. He's got great pace. And I just think his defensive side's very, very good. the most important is he's offensive player, and we had the way he creates things. I think he's up there with one of the best about, and he's one to be really, really be wary about at the weekend, because at times where he comes on the overlap, mate, he's very, very effective. Again, a HOWAY on his day can be a right handful. And you've got Pereira again, right? When we played Fulham the last time, a very tidy footballer, can really, really hurt teams, right? And these have just we've got to be very, very wary about these ones, in my opinion. And again, I've already touched on Jimenez. He can be hot and cold. If he's hot, would even be in a right handful of a game. And obviously Smith Rowe brings his quality from Arsenal. Again, he seems to be a different player since he's left Arsenal. When I've seen bits and bobs of him, he looks very, very more effective on the ball, more direct, more chances of scoring, because he's playing in a different formation, and I think the reins are let off him a little bit. So, like I say, this is going to be. They've got quality, mate. They've got quality on that pitch, and the manager's good as well. He plays football in the right way. Likes to keep a hold of the ball, plays at all times. Which, if it's not on, our high press could work very, very effectively. I think it's got the chances of being an absolute cracker this tomorrow, mate. I really do.
I mean, they're missing. When you look at that team, I'm looking at, because I look at that team, I looked and I went, that team looks nothing like the team we played against last season.
No,
I'm looking at it last season. Obviously, Castagna played at right back, Tosan played at centre back, Calvin's still there, the keeper's still there, Robertson's still there, Tom Carney's missing, who was brilliant against us.
Yeah, I mean, they've changed the formation a little bit, though. That's the thing. Yeah,
they're playing a 4-2-3. No, same formation according to this.
Yeah.
Paulinho, obviously, they lost him. Iwobi was playing on the right wing, is now playing on the left, and Willian was playing on the left wing. He's not in potentially the starting lineup. Muniz is there, and Pereira is where Emile Smith Rowe is. So he's dropped back, and Emile Smith Rowe's playing in that number 10 role instead. So it's going to be very interesting to see Fulham tomorrow, because their team has evolved a lot due to, obviously losing some decent players.
See, I've seen a different formation of that at the times when I've seen bits and bobs of them play. Smith Rowe drops in as a left midfielder and there goes a 4-3-3. And Pereira plays on that right hand side with looking through the middle. So that's another a different way that they play when they're not doing the 4-2-3-1. So they change formations when they're playing. Another thing what we've got to be very aware of, which Eddie Howe picked up on in his conference today, about how versatile they are in the game and how well they change things as when they're playing, because a lot of teams do that now. They're not just a one-trick pony, which I keep saying we are at times, and we're so easy to play against. These other teams, Brighton, Brighton last season, they'll change formation 3 or 4 times during the game, which is very difficult to play against.
Yeah, it was a tough game against them last season. We only beat them 1-0. Tucker Bruno was a very well worked goal, if I remember. He just side footed it into the corner, didn't he? But Shaw had a goal disallowed.
That game, made Robinson give us a right torrid time.
He did. So I'm expecting that again, unless we get a hold of him early. What's this? If Liverpool can lose to Forest, we can lose to the... Yeah, well, I know. I absolutely agree. Didn't they release? Did they release Willian?
Oh, yes.
Well, I know he was getting on a bit, but...
Yes, yes, I think they did. I can't remember where he's gone, but I'm sure, I'm sure they did.
All right. I love the idea of 4-2-3-1 plays into our strengths. It does it. I would play Gordon as number 10 if we played that, but that's getting there beyond the thing. So we've got quite a little bit of a discussion to go on about our lineup, because there's a few question marks on here. I've decided to go with question marks this time because it can move around so much this time. I don't want to just pin it down to a couple of players. So we've got the right back situation. Tino holds the shirt at the moment, but every time Trippier's come on, he's looked fantastic. And I know it's in short spurts, and he's obviously able to use a lot of his energy in short spurts because of that. But he's got to be pushing to get that shirt back, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm all for him starting. However, I just think Iwobi and Robinson bring so much pace down that side. I think Tino starts simply because of his pace. And if things aren't going well, you can do exactly what we did last week. And if they can bring Trips on to do something later on in the game, but I think Tino for me starts simply because of what's potentially going to come down that side.
I'm just going to put this out there now before we go to the left back spot. And I know Dan Burn's been excellent this season. He didn't have his best game though at the weekend. With pace being a problem, would you consider taking Burn out and playing Kelly, or would you prefer changing the formation and playing three at the back with Kelly in there?
No, I would keep the two. I would keep Sean Byrne, me personally, because he's only had one shaky game out. I think he's been exceptional, Dan Byrne, and I think he's one of these ones where I don't think he lets it happen again. Quite because I think he'll work hard. So for me, the question mark in the left back situation is it Hall or is it Kelly? And I'm going to favour Kelly this time for me. I don't think Hall's fit for some reason. He's at that stage where he's getting to about 75, 80 minutes, and he's getting cramp a lot, and he's struggling. I mean, we had to put him up front the last game just to put a square peg in a round hole because of his fitness, in my opinion. So a little bit to work on, and I think he'll play Kelly.
Someone's put on in our group Adidas Arena. Are Adidas going to sponsor the training at St James's Park? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Adidas Arena at stjamespark.com or something. Or just the Adidas Arena. It's got a good ring to it.
Is that not the new ground?
I wish. You get the feeling last season Eddie was relentlessly sticking to one plan. This season it isn't a long shot to think he'll play the same lineup when he can bring in the same subs. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's nice having a strong bench, but you still want to see those best players out there for longer, which is why we're having this discussion now, because there's so much discussion to go. I mean, I haven't put the question marks in the midfield three because you just think he's going to, I mean, I personally think he's going to drop Sean Longstaff and play Tonali now because Tonali was his baby, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, who do you think should play left back and right back, Baz?
I would have been tempted to pick Trips, but I understand the argument for Tony with his Tino with his pace. I get what you're saying. I think with Trippier's leadership, the way he marshals the defense and how clever he is, he can be in the right position to nullify pace. But pace is pace, isn't it? At the end of the day, sometimes you can't nullify it. It's a tough one. And I would go with Kelly at left back over Hall because I think you're right. I mean, some people were giving him man of the match last week. I didn't see it. I really didn't. I thought he was at fault for our goal, or was him, Sean Longstaff and Dan Burn. All three of them played a big part in that goal being conceded. So I'm sort of going down the same line as you, but I think Trips deserves to start now. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be surprised if he comes in. He spoke very highly of the game in the press conference. So
it's a valid point in a way. He thinks he's saving Trips and wants Bruno to lead without literally looking over his right shoulder. It's like he feels that Bruno would be, I don't know. We'll come to Bruno in a little bit because I want to talk about him having the captaincy, because I think you might have been right at the start of the season, because I'm seeing a few things now but we'll come to that in a bit. So Tonali, J7, Bruno, do you think those three are definitely going to start?
No.
Ooh. Do you think Sean will still start then?
No, and I think it all depends on Isak.
Right. Well, this is where we're coming to the top.
Because I can just one position dictates, in my opinion, what the rest of them 5 players do.
Right.
If Isak's not fit, I think you'll put Gordon through the middle.
I do. I don't want him to, but I think he will.
Right. So then I think GS7 will go into Gordon's position on the left, high.
Really?
And I think he brings Joe Willock in that left, and he puts Harvey Barnes on the right. So then you'll get your best midfield 3 at this football club: Joe Willock, Bruno, and Tonali. That's your best midfield 3. You want your best players on the pitch. That's the best midfield 3.
That's interesting.
And then, if you remember as well, mind, there was times where Dan Burn was playing at left back last season and he was found wanting. And Joe Linton was so pivotal to him, protecting him, and that work rate down that hand side. Now, that's my opinion on that position there. Now, if Isak's fit, I think the midfield 3 will be that. With Joe, I think Willock will stay on the bench, and you'll stick with Isak, Gordon, and Barnes. But if Isak's not fit, I think that'll change the whole dimension of what we're doing. I think you bring Willock in and put Joe Linton high on the left-hand side.
That is very interesting. What about Uzla? Does he not get a look in at all?
For me, again, Eddie spoke very highly in the press conference today. He said it's his work in progress. I think he starts through the week. I don't think he starts tomorrow, even if
Tuesday.
Even if Isak's not fit, I don't think he starts, because then you haven't got that other centre forward coming off the bench. I mean, if Isak's not fit and you start him, I mean, who do you drop? That's who else do you put into that formation that'll be ineffective for us? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I would have Gordon left, Barnes right, and Uzla up front.
I don't.
Just like for like.
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. I just I think you'll get it. I think you'll start on through the week. I think
I think it's a good idea. You don't want to throw him into the Lions' den. You play him on the Tuesday night, which is kind of throwing him into the Lions' den because Wimbledon. I suppose it's not the Wimbledon of old, though, is it? It's not the crazy gang. But it's a tough one because, like I mentioned to you in the full time when we're against Wolves, I don't like seeing Gordon up front sometimes because he doesn't make the runs that an out-and-out striker would make. Like, he should have scored. When Shaw pulled that ball back, Gordon should have been in front of that defender. If he sees the way the game's opening up, he wouldn't have been on his heels like he was. And I think an out-and-out striker would be in that position, and Isak or Wilson. I would like to think Uzla would see that opening up as well. So that's the one thing that I feel that Gordon lacks, what an out-and-out striker brings, is that predatory instinct. Being at the right place at the right time sort of thing as a forward. Now, he does it brilliantly from midfield. He can be in the right place at the right time all the time, but he knows he ghosts in unnoticed. But when he's a striker, he's leading the line, so it's a completely different job, isn't it?
Yes, as well as, don't get me wrong, if he does go up top, mind, you lose that directness from that left-hand side, where when he's on, he hurts teams. So that's another thing where you've got to, which how do you replace that? Because you're not going to get that from Joe Linton on that left-hand side. Because it's a difficult one to call, but I still think you'll put Gordon through the middle, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that would happen. To be honest, I think it will happen. I just don't want to see it.
I totally get what you're saying, mate, but you're right, because how many times when we played Mitrovic and we were putting balls across the front, but he would want to he would automatically come to the back stick and want to fight players and want to win headers. Where Dwight Gale, was always the one that seemed to get across the defender and score them goals when we got to the byline and put it. So he was fantastic at doing that. So I get your point, mate, where you need that natural striker to get in areas to score goals, which Gordon sometimes doesn't. But tried and tested. The players that he trusts, again, I just think he'll do that if Isak's not fit.
I mean, I'm going to put you up a stat page of Gordon, and because obviously a lot of people have been saying Gordon hasn't started the season very well, and I'm thinking, are you really watching the games properly?
Yeah,
because
I mean, I was the one for first game, and I thought he was way off.
I thought the first game, but not the rest of the games. He's the only person who looks like he's creating anything. Even when he's having a bad game, he's creating more than anyone. Look at Joe Willock there. He's second, and he hasn't even started any games yet. And he's got 5 chances created. But Anthony Gordon's way out there on 11.
Yeah. Joe Willock's stats will go even higher than that when he starts.
He will. But a shadow of a doubt, which is why I've always said he's one of our best players.
Yeah.
But that is phenomenal from Gordon, and everyone's saying that he's still off the pace and he's still not on it. And I'm thinking, well, if you really watch him, watch the amount of fouls he wins, watch the amount of good chances he creates. The way he cut that chance he created for himself against Wolves when he hit the post was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, stats don't lie, mate. And
this is why I want him out on the left wing, because that's how dangerous he is.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I've said. Where if you put him through the middle, you lose that left. That's that direct threat from the left hand side. But when your hands are tied, mate, unfortunately you've got to do things what we don't all.
When in Rome.
Yeah, we might be a million miles wrong. I'm hoping Isak's fit. I really do, because I want Isak to get off I want Isak to start scoring, so he can start. Because you know yourself, the longer you don't score, I know it's very early in the season and he's got quality and he'll score, but the longer you go on, the more frustrated it'll be. He needs to get them.
Snatch at things, don't you, until that first one goes in?
I'll be very surprised, the man of Isak's quality and stature, that he'll snatch at stuff. But it's a great seeing. But the frustration things will go on a little bit further for him.
Yeah.
So I hope he's fit.
Fingers crossed. Get your predictions in, guys, because we're nearing the end of the show. But don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying it. Become a member if you don't mind. It really does help. It's only 99p. And what do you get for that? You get put into prize draw for a Diet Crow, a gift card of $40 every month, using code BAZ20 for 20% off. Description is in the link is in the description below. I'm getting tongue-tied tonight. But they're an amazing little company, do amazing bespoke Newcastle t-shirts, so please check them out. The Nick Pope one's really good, and Nick Pope is back. And don't forget about football prizes. This isn't just an unreal rare of prizes, this. And that framed Champions League shirt is fantastic. And you can also win all those players' signed shirts as well. They're instant prizes. So when you buy a ticket, you get a chance of winning an instant prize, and then you also get put into the main prize draw as well. And then don't forget, of course, we've got our big night in January. And for tickets, all you've got to do is email Superfan Dan, and he will sort it out for you. These are all good discussions going on. It'll be really interesting to see what Eddie does. I've got a feeling he'll play Longstaff again, Tonali for me. I think the way he spoke about Longstaff, I think he was kind of hinting that, there's better players to come in and they're all going to come in.
You cannot leave Tonali on the bench now for me.
No.
You can't. He's just, if you've got to remember the start of last season, how good he was and how many games were won, and the importance of the games that he played in. It's time now for Tonali to start, in my opinion, and we will not look back. We won't look back. Definitely not.
I hope he does. I'll be devastated if he's not started. Yes, there is a watch along tomorrow, Leslie. I finished work at 1:00. I've got a flyer, so I'll be home to watch the game and to bring it live to you guys. We have to be positive. The team are doing a big one. We are due a big one. Hopefully a Sheffield United big one, but I doubt it. Right, Bruno, I want to talk about Bruno, captaincy. Is it really working as Bruno as captain? You said it might affect him at the start of the season and said that you would rather have somebody else as captain because you take away, a bit like when you ask Joe Linton not to be Joe Linton, you take something away from his game. Has the captaincy took a little bit of bite from Bruno? Because his performances haven't been fantastic at all in any of the games, really, when you think about it. All teams finally figured out that everything goes through Bruno, and the way to stop Newcastle playing is to man-mark Bruno.
like I said, Baz, earlier on, some players are just made to be captains. And some players aren't the best footballers in the world either when they're captains. I was fearful that you would take that edge away from him, what we all loved. And at times, I think Bruno's just a crowd pleaser, and that annoys me. It really does. You would rather big the crowd up and get them going. I just think I don't think he's a captain when I see him out on that football pitch. I really don't. And I think there's bigger captains in our team than him. And I think Trippier's a great captain. You can see that. And I think the likes of when Callum Wilson's a captain, you can see what he does and what he runs, what he does. He's great. Even Jamal Lascelles is a good captain, in my opinion. He's not the best. I think
Shaw would be a good captain.
I don't think. Obviously, we all know Jamal Lascelles has got his limitations, but as a captain, I think he's a motivator. He's a leader. You just earn that respect. I just don't think it's working for me as Bruno a captain. I really don't.
But will he change it? I don't think he will.
Well, you can't now. You can't do that. You cannot just go, well, it's not working, mate, I'm going to take it off you. Because you see what happened with Harry Maguire. It'll knock your end in. So it's his decision. We don't know if it's been a transfer related thing because he was well targeted in the summer. I don't know. I don't know. It's such a huge thing to be a captain of Newcastle United. I know he loves the club, right? I know he does everything for the club. It's a different level when you become a captain. There's two iconic things in my eyes. It's being captain of your club and wearing that number 9 shirt at Newcastle. No other honours come bigger than that, and you've got to be a superstar to do both. And if you look at all the captains of the past, they've all been real winners, I think.
I think Bruno can be that, though. I don't know, just since the start of the season, I don't know if it's fitness or, like I say, teams have figured him out, because I've noticed he gets fouled a lot, more than usual. Like, they're breaking our play up so quickly by sitting on Bruno, clipping him, stopping him from being able to turn and get those balls down the wings quicker. I don't think that's got nothing to do with being captain. I think that's just no, it does. That's why I'm asking. Is it the captaincy, or is it just teams have figured us out?
No, I'm saying you've asked us about, do I think he's a captain? Do I think it's about his football ability? Of course, it's not. His football ability is fantastic. I just don't see a leader in him as a captain. I see him. There's a difference, in my opinion, of being a captain than a top player. I just cannot. I cannot just see him being that top motivator that will really get you dug. Do you know, like a Roy Keane?
Yeah.
I can't. That's a captain, in my opinion. Rio Ferdinand was a top captain as well, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
Was it?
Yeah, top.
Look
Look at Van Dijk. Look at Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
These are captains, by the way. I don't think Bruno's football ability, I'll say it again, he's a world-class footballer. I don't think he's a captain, in my opinion.
I still think I think teams have figured out how we play as well, though. I don't think that helps.
Yeah, because
his performances have dropped because he then thinks, I'm the captain, I've got to try and do something, and then he's getting caught on the ball a lot, which he didn't do last season. He used to find space, used to find ways of getting out of it, and he hasn't done that this season yet.
Do you know what it is, Baz, right? I'll go back to the summer window when I said how pivotal we were to sign certain players to change formations because we're easy to be found out about and how we play. You've just answered that question by yourself. Because people's figured us out how to play. because we played the same way since Eddie Howe's came to the football club.
Mm.
And that's frustrating.
It is. But he hasn't been backed, has he? It's not Eddie Howe's fault.
No. But
I know you're not saying that either, but
no, definitely not. Definitely not, because we put stats up last week how good he is. But the other thing is, other teams are changing the way they play slightly, and they're changing the way they play against us to stop the high press, to stop us getting on the ball and doing what we want to do. Because they know if we stop that, we've got nothing else really, which is frustrating.
Very. Well, the good news is we are still sitting third.
Yeah,
we've got a great goal difference. We've got 10 points, and because City play Arsenal on Sunday, we have a chance to put a marker down and go top of the league by a point. Now, I know that might sound daft, because I know we're not going to finish top of the league by the end of the season, but you tell that to the players after, if they beat Fulham on Saturday, they see the team sitting top of the league, how much confidence is that going to take into next week against Man City, and also into Tuesday night against Wimbledon? You know, and the one thing that is really exciting me about being top of the league, and it's not because, you know, we're challenging for the league or anything like that, it's because Sky Sports are going to have to start taking note again. Jamie Carragher will be furious. Jamie Carragher will be furious that Newcastle are top of the league, because he knows when it comes to Man City against Arsenal, they'll see Newcastle sitting top of the league, and it's who's going to take over Newcastle by the end of the day. That's what the talk will be. And it'll kill them. It will kill them that we are top of the league. They'll hate it. And I'm all for that.
Yeah, you know, it'd be great to tune into that game and listen to that. But like I said earlier on, it's that table is absolutely fantastic, and I didn't think we would be nowhere near that at the start of the season. I really didn't, because I thought it'd be tough. We haven't played very well at times, and we've ground out results, which is brilliant, and it shows we've got character. And this is the biggest game of the season for me up to now, because we've got a chance to put a stamp and go top of the league. Now, every time Newcastle's wanted to try and get somewhere, when there's been something there, we've let ourselves down. Carabao Cup final was there for the taking, in my opinion, because Man United were poor. We just didn't get there and do it.
Agree.
We just need to do something that Newcastle haven't done for a long, long time, and just get over the line on tomorrow. Get that, get it. It doesn't matter how you win, just get that win. Just to be sat, it'd be lovely to be sat top of the table on Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't care if we shit house a win, as long as we get
how
that
you win.
By the way, what a name. Bacon Sarnie Brune Sauce. Our best start in years, and it still seems all doom and gloom. We haven't got going yet, and we are sitting pretty. How are that? I completely agree. Like I say, there's no doom and gloom here. We're loving it. We know there's more to come. We know what it means, a team, you know, shithousing results, because Alex Ferguson did it for how many years and won titles? 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. It used to be soul destroying, turning on teletext and seeing Man United winning 1-0 again, because you just knew they were going to win. And that's what you've got to do to be a winner. You've got to be able to win ugly at times, and we're doing it. Well, we've basically won 3, drawn 1 ugly, but I don't care. As long as we've got that quality that can keep still winning games, and we've got a defence that still wants to be dogged and wants to fight for everything, that's the kind of team you want, isn't it? A team that's battling for you and battling for the shirt and battling for the club. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, can't ask for any more.
Exactly. Sky literally went to another sport when they showed the graphic of us in third place. There's
they did.
Shot.
They showed the golf. The Solheim
golf.
Yeah.
Solheim golf, yeah. Joke aside, if Man City get docked, Arsenal are having tons of injuries. We can dream. Man City won't get docked anything until next season. That's because there'll be an appeal, and it'll go on for a good year and a bit. This case, Arsenal going to have a meltdown, and Arteta will be removed from the technical area in a straitjacket live on Sunday. I hope so. The intensity is our identity stuff working too fast, 22-23, but it's not too. Well, we've stopped that though. I've not seen any intensity as our identity this season at all. We're trying to be a more possession-based team and use the press and the intensity at the right time but we're not all guns blazing hell out there. It's just the problem is we don't have the players, in my mind, especially at the back, who can play a possession-based game. If you've got Botman and Shaw there, then yeah, fair enough. But we've only got one. And when we haven't got either of them, it looks really bad at times. So
and don't forget, Nick Pope's kicking this season has been absolutely woeful.
Exactly that as well.
But it starts
you know,
behind. Starts behind your defence, because all these top players of all these top teams, they've got a goalkeeper that can play.
Yeah.
Nick Pope's shot stopping's been brilliant at times. His kicking's been absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. But like I said, I'd rather have a goalkeeper who's shot stopping. Unless you can get both.
Again, do you know, I've been critical there for his kicking, much as it stands out like a sore thumb. You're going on about stats again. Nick Pope's never lost a football match in over a year.
Yeah, exactly.
1 year.
And that's down to his crucial saves. That save against Southampton.
I'll probably curse this now, but I hope not.
The save against Wolves. Do you know what I mean? If he pulls one of them out again on Saturday, brilliant.
Yeah.
I have no idea why that's just came up. But that's gone. Right. Prediction for tomorrow. What do you think we're going to...
Yeah,
how are we going to fare?
Interesting that Fulham has scored 7 goals in the last 5 matches. And we've scored 7 goals in our last 5 matches.
Ooh.
So I'm definitely going for both teams to score. I think that'll be the case. And I think we'll sneak a 2-1.
You said 2-1 last week as well. And you got it
yeah,
right. And I said 1-1. But I went 2-1 on Super 6.
Did you?
I'm always positive on my Super 6, but I'm never positive on here sometimes when it comes to away games. If only takes one player. I think it's a tough one to predict because we actually have no idea what the starting front three is going to be. And that's what makes it very hard to predict this game. I'm confident of Isak's playing and he's fit enough to play. You know, I'm thinking 2-1, 3-1. If it's Gordon up front, you know, and we're putting square pegs in round holes again, I think it could be a 1-1. But I'm hoping it's 2-1 to go in the middle. I hope we get the win, I really do. But if we can stay undefeated, I'd even take a point. I still think a point's a good result tomorrow.
Yeah, as long as we don't get beat, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If we go from Saturday, we don't get beat, and then we'll get a good win in the cup, that sets it up for a great one against City, in my opinion. And we at home, I think as much as City are a great side, Pep will be very, very wary of us at home. Very wary.
They are. Pep is as well.
Yeah.
Weather forecast. Oh God, I don't know what the weather forecast is in London, to be fair. Does the weather forecast matter?
It'll be 24. Got to be.
Nah, it's starting to get bad now. I'll go. Search London. England. Saturday, 4 to 20, max 20. Geez, you were right, 23, but 35% chance of rain.
So it'll be 24 in that stadium at least.
Yeah. So it's the last.
Saying that, though, I haven't got many sides up, have they? So the wind will be coming through a little bit. It'll keep it cool.
Yeah, true. There you go. Weather forecast is done as well. We've never done the weather forecasting here before, but there we go. Pep is always respectful of our club and Eddie as a head coach. He is, and it's amazing that we have these armchair fans who think Eddie Howe is shocking and he should be sacked and he needs to go, when you've got the best manager currently in the world praising your manager, praising your team, praising the club. It just baffles me that they think they know more than him.
Yeah. I'm looking up. I'm looking forward to Pep's press conference next week.
Me too. Can't wait for 9:30 in the morning here in sunny Montreal. Ooh, nice, Jim. You enjoy 100%. Cheers, he said. Newcastle's of 2 seasons ago recently. Yeah, I wish we went back to intensity as our identity because we don't have all these cup games and everything, and we just went out and tried to batter teams the way that we used to, because it used to work really well. But he's trying to play a more possession-based game, isn't he? And we're just going to have to accept that. It's the way he's trying to evolve the team. You need the players to do that. And Tonali's the key. You see the way he busies about and does it.
Yeah.
Right, let's be positive. 2-1 win. I'm going 2-1 as well.
You're going 2-1 as well?
Yeah, probably a bad idea, but there we go. Don't forget, it's an away game tomorrow, so away top's on. My away top will be on. Home tops for home games, away tops for away games. I need the new one, though. Don't forget, Die Crow. Don't forget football prizes. Don't forget our amazing night on Thursday, the 16th of January. If you want your tickets, contact Superfan Dan. We are really looking forward to doing that and making some money for charity. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for the chat. Thanks to Ian as always. Really enjoyed this, and we'll see you on Sunday night for the full-time show, and I will be live tomorrow for the watch-along after 6 hours at work. That's going to be fun. Take care, everyone. Ta-da.